It is time.
This is an interesting tune I've always liked that John Lennon did. And it was after the Beatles broke up. And, of course, there is this famous feud between him and Paul McCartney. And it had a lot to do with the business. And they had Apple Records together and had to do with the business and kind of the split of the Beatles. And it was kind of a song that John Lennon wrote at the height of his feud with Paul McCartney after the Beatles broke up. Each line of the song is an attack on some aspect of Paul McCartney's life or music at the time. For instance, the line "Everything You've Done Was Yesterday, Since You've Gone and Just Another Day" refers to Paul's song "Yesterday" with the Beatles and his first solo single after outside the Beatles called
That's
"Another
crazy.
Day."
Yeah.
So it was kind of
It's
like a message,
a diss track.
a message back and forth. They were kind of doing it back and forth in a way. So this is a really cool group of people. It actually has George Harrison on slide guitar, and Alan White on drums, Klaus Vorman on bass, and some other great players like Andy Davis and Rod Linton and Ted Turner and John Tout, and also Nicky Hopkins, additional piano parts. So just a really cool view. At one point, Lennon was interviewed about it, and he said, I used my resentment against Paul to create this song. Sibling rivalry. He goes, it was a creative rivalry. It wasn't a vicious vendetta, but I felt resentment. So let's check it out. It's How Do You Sleep? John Lennon from the Plastic Ono Band here on Galaxy Jams Reacts.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So Sergeant Pepper took you by surprise. You better see right through their mother's eye. So Dix was right when they said you was dead.
How great and funky is this, right?
Yeah.
What
it's
a
dope.
great
Yeah.
song. And then, hey, again, we were talking about it earlier. Those guys just playing in the studio,
That's
right?
what I
They're
was
all
gonna
just
say,
sitting in
yeah.
one room,
It's a cool vibe.
just playing the song, and it sounds like freaking gold.
Yeah, and then also the intentions behind it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the feelings that are propelling the song.
It's a very strong intention behind
And
the
even
song,
if you
yeah.
don't know what's going on, you can still feel like something, you know,
yeah.
something propelling it. And like you said, Tom, you know, some people that propellant's love, you know, and some propellant is, you know, hate or anger or, you know, sadness or like whatever color it's going to be. And I think that, you know, to do like a straight up diss track, right, like this is a very, very rare, you know, energy behind a song indeed. You know, not a lot of people make a song that actually sounds good that's like literally dunking on someone unless they're like a rap god or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, you know, especially these guys. There were things like what is it? I think it's "Love Minus Zero," the Dylan song. You know, was that was basically like a diss track to John Lennon. You know, like you know, Lennon put out Norwegian Wood, and Dylan was just like, okay, this guy is ripping off my shit. You know, and you know, "Love Minus Zero" is like his response to that. You know, kind of thing. I mean, I think people talk to each other through their songs back then for sure. But like you were saying, the intention, I think, is the thing that matters the most. You know, I always talk when I'm in the studio. I always talk to whoever players I'm with about intention. It's all, you know, it's all a personal thing, right? Like whatever that player's bringing, it can come from wherever it comes from, but it has to be there. You know, like it has to be. It's got to mean something to you what you're doing. It doesn't have to necessarily mean, you know, like what Klaus is playing. Maybe he's not thinking "fuck you, Paul McCartney,"
Right.
You know, but he is thinking like in the moment, and he's bringing something into what's going on, and there's intention, there's purpose. It's just, you know, and yeah, man, it's like that's the thing, that's the variable, it's the intangible thing about recording like that. You know, with just people in a room, you know, like you never know what's going to happen. And the thing is, you know, when you record 10 takes of a track, the one that is the one, everyone knows it. Everyone in the room knows it when they listen back. They're like, "Oh, this is it," because because that thing that you can't describe or teach or make a plugin out of is just happening, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is it." You know?
And I think the thing that's cool about this song is it is John's intention to send a message. But if you didn't know that and you listen to the song, you could fit this probably into a relationship you had with somebody.
Right.
You could fit this into like a breakup with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever. You could fit this song into anything. And it's really the sound of the song, like we were saying, has that song of like, yeah, you know, it's like funky and fun, but it also has that kind of dark side to the sound of it. And it's the way they're playing it too. So I think that's pretty special.
Yeah, and also like when it comes to improv, I think that that's like especially important. I read this interview or something like that with like Trey Anastasio, and he was saying that sometimes when he's jamming with Fish, he can tell like how their day went, you know, and it's like really interesting because especially when you start going into improv, it's like so many things just come out because to do improv, you have to really relax, and you have to really listen, and you have to really like, you know, take your time and open yourself up, and that can have like a lot of, you know, other effects. Like I feel like this is like one of those songs where like something that's happening where even if it's inadvertent, it's giving it a quality that's like so endearing and like so many people really, really like. And a lot of the times that's how it works, where it's like something you're not even necessarily going for is the thing that makes it. You know what I mean?
Happy accidents.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
And just thinking about just going back to just this actual song, John's voice
Oh yeah,
is
really good.
so
There's
amazing.
nothing like it, dude.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
He's just he can sound, you know, really smooth sometimes. He can sound, can put the grit on it, and that's one thing I liked about the Beatles is they had the way that they would just change their voices for different songs and the way they experimented, even just with the way they recorded and everything like that, and just how they would put themselves in the moment of whatever message they were trying to get out or whatever feeling they were trying to get out, and they would augment themselves and really try to sound different on a lot of different songs, because he sounds completely different on this song than if you listen to like Woman or you listen to Norwegian Wood, like you said, like completely different. Like if you didn't, you could still tell it's him if you're really a big giant fan of the Beatles, but if you had somebody who didn't really know the Beatles and you played those 3 songs, they might not even guess it was the same person
or the same band.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the Beatles. It was they had 4 singers, but they had 20 different voices.
Right.
And that's why they were the Beatles, and we're not.
Right. Let's get back into it.
How do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night?
They're all just chilling, like friends that are just relaxing in the studio together.
A pretty face may last a year or two.
Yeah, I really love the grit that he's putting in his vocals. It's so good.
But pretty soon they'll see what you can do. A sound you make is music to my ear. You must have learned something in all those years. Oh, how do you sleep, brother? Oh, tell me, how do you sleep at night? Hit it.
Getting it with the Rhodes.
Jump when your mama tell you anything. But pretty soon you'll see what you can do. Oh, how do you sleep at night?
Doing a clean right there. That was a clean pass.
Tell me, how do you sleep at night? Tell me, how do you sleep at night?
They're just nailing it. It's like perfect.
Okay. Do you think we should listen and see what we're doing or what?
That's like
I
exactly
love
what we
that.
were all just talking about.
Yeah.
I like in the
Just-
chat, Frowning Flower says, what is so odd to him is the influence that Paul and John obviously had on each other. At any second, I feel could be listening to Wings until I hear John sing or something else quintessentially Lennon happens. I agree. I mean, the thing is, they grew up together, I mean, they were really young when they first met and started making music. I think they were 13, 14 years old, if I'm
I
not
didn't know that.
mistaken.
Wow.
They like best of friends for a long time, and it was a really, really cool relationship that they had. I mean, even George Harrison was in there early too, and Ringo was one of the last ones to get in there. But their relationship and their songwriting relationship and the way they worked together was one of a kind, and that's what makes this song. If you know all that kind of stuff and you know the history, it makes this song like wow, because he even says, how do you sleep at night, brother, right? So, and everything he's saying in the song too, he's referencing things from the Beatles and Beatles songs and moments that they had together, and he goes, you must have learned something through all those formative years, So it was just really cool.
There's an outtake of that where he sings, "How do you sleep, you cunt?"
Yeah, I've heard that.
Oh
one too.
my
Yeah.
God.
Damn.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah,
I was waiting for him to do that. He didn't, but this wasn't one of those versions.
yeah, that was probably the other take.
That was a great share, EJ. Thank you
I
so
liked it.
much. Hi, this is Mike with Galaxy Jams Reacts. We hope that you enjoyed that React video. Be sure to check out the links below of when we're going to be live streaming our next show and also how to watch full episodes. Please hit that subscribe button. Every single one helps.